Maybe something happened and nobody told me without my gavel. Good afternoon. It's a lovely afternoon, and oh my gosh, the community in the room is just amazing this afternoon between the beautiful spring weather and the beautiful young people in the room and everybody else. I'm just glad to be here today. So I am going to call to order the Nashville MTA board meeting and welcome everyone. And so we have a new board member. And I cannot be more excited, not just because we have our seat filled, but because of who the mayor has filled our seat with. Everybody meet Jeff Haynes, our newest board member. Jeff was named to the Nashville MTA board just this week, was it like Tuesday? And Jeff is a partner in Boyle Investment Company's Nashville office, and he oversees real estate projects. In addition to 40 years of commercial real estate experience, he was also an adjunct professor at Vanderbilt University's prestigious Owen School of Business. I never knew that, Jeff. That's cool. Anchor down. Haynes, Jeff has been responsible for the development of more than 2 million square feet of office and retail facilities, including headquarters for several Nashville-based companies. He is known for his extensive attention to detail and excellence in real estate development, including projects such as Capitol View and Meridian Cool Springs. Haynes is a member of ULI and NAIOP and served on the Nashville Parks Board from 2017 to 2023 and served at the Nashville Planning Commission from 2011 to 2023. He has also served as a board member for Renewal House and currently chairs the Salvation Army Property Committee. Haynes received an undergraduate degree in mathematics from Vanderbilt University and his MBA from University of Michigan. Go Blue. Like, you just, all of it, right? And he's married to dear Lucy, and together they have 4 wonderful children that I can attest to because my kids grew up with your children doing some of the many same sports and other activities. So David and I met you and Lucy pretty much when we first moved here, and I have always admired your commitment to our city and to our community, as I have with so many members of your family. I feel honored to have you here, and I feel proud to know that your family has been a family that has been so impactful, not just in Nashville, but for the whole state of Tennessee. And I'm grateful that I had the honor to know your parents, know your fun sister, and you and all your family. And welcome. We work hard. We talk about transit, we work with transit, and we work as a community together to make certain that transit for Nashville is excellent and also that we're all in it together. So, Jeff, welcome and thank you for coming aboard. And that is Walter's classic clap. I love it. Thank you. And it's good to see you here today, Mr. Searcy. And let me do a quick roll call. So, Ron Thompson, our vice chair.
Present.
Jessica Dobbin.
Present.
Catherine Hayes.
Present.
And Jeff Hayes.
Present.
I said Hayes instead. I forgot your N. Because maybe I was looking at Catherine's day. I don't know. Excuse me for that. Jeff Haynes.
We can. I'm Hayes because we couldn't afford the extra letters.
Oh, you couldn't?
That's what my dad always says.
Like I said, we do work hard in here. So if I can have a motion for approval of the April 24th, 2025 MTA board minutes.
Motion to approve the minutes.
Second.
There's a motion, there's a second. Is there any conversation, any additions or deletions? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next on our agenda are public comments, and I only have one request for public comment. Is it Raja Ahmed? Did I get that right? If you could come up to the microphone. And I don't recall whether or not you've been here before, but you have a 2-minute limit on your comments, and they're kind enough to put a timer there for you.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Ahmed, let me introduce you.
Sure.
Thank you. I'm going to abuse protocol
Well,
and seize whatever residual privileges I may have to introduce my good friend Ahmad Raja, who operates an extraordinary business here that I believe truly that the WEGO Transportation Department can truly benefit from his participation as a vendor with you. He's been struggling to break through to be afforded that opportunity for over 3 years now. And so I'm coming today to introduce him and to encourage him to make his presentation to you this afternoon.
thank you, Mr. Searcy.
Thank you.
Thank you for restarting the 2 minutes.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity. My name is Ahmed Raja again, and I've been living here since '99. I do have 4 kids from college all the way to kindergarten, and I'm happy. I've been with transportation for 18 years. I do still work with they call it a workers' comp, brokers. I've been dealing with 18 years. I'm trying to get some opportunity with WeGo. I have experiences. Mr. Chairman already explained to it. So I don't want to take that much minutes, but like I say, my name is Ahmed Raja. I've been living here 25 years, and I've been with the wheelchair transportation business for the last 18 years. And thank you again for giving me opportunity. And it seems like everybody's lovely, and I'll be happy to work with you, everybody. And thank you again, and I appreciate you.
Thank you. I don't have any other requests for public comments. Is there anyone else wishing to make a public comment? Anyone else wishing to make a public comment? Hearing no requests, that closes our public comment section of our agenda. Thank you all very much. And at this time, I am going to change our agenda around a little if I hear no objection, and I am going to move the NICE committee, the New Initiatives and Community Engagement Committee, up to now, in front of our information only items. And I will turn this over to you, Mr. Thompson. You have some real special visitors here today.
I do. Thank you, Madam Chair. So on behalf of the NICE committee, because nobody wants to hear me talk, I am going to let the youth action team come up and give their year-end report from Ms. Zeta Riggs.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair and the board.
Good afternoon.
This is our 12th year partnering with the Oasis Center, and I'm so excited for them to give you guys the youth the end of year report. And this is Alyssa Vega. So this is the program director. She'll tell you a little bit about the program, and they'll give you the report. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello.
Hello, welcome.
Thank you. I am, as she said, Alyssa Vega. I'm the program coordinator for the WeGo Youth Action Team. It is housed within the Oasis program, our Oasis Center. We've had this partnership since 2012. It is a team of 8 high school students who are just incredibly passionate about public transit and increasing the culture and youth ridership of transit in our wonderful city. They always have really unique outlooks on transit and how to really engage their peers in public transit. So enough from me. I'm going to pass it on to them.
Thank you, Alyssa. As she said, we're the WeGo Youth Action Team, and we're so excited to tell you about our year. My name is Anna Chan, and I'm a graduate from Hume-Fogg Academic High School, and I'll be attending Cornell University in the fall. Thank you. To start us off, Celebrate Nashville is a cultural celebration where people from different customs and traditions have the opportunity to come together and appreciate the diversity in Nashville. As the election was quickly approaching, we took this time to educate local voters about Nashville's new transit referendum. And thank you to the Mayor's Youth Council for allowing us to share their tent. We prepared and handed out informative flyers and conversed with voters about potential questions, doubts, and/or concerns surrounding the referendum. Now I'll pass it on to my next teammate.
Hello, I'm Dylan Ringel. I am a rising junior at Kahila High School here in Nashville. So similar to our actions at Celebrate Nashville, we were at Walk Bike Nashville's Open Streets on Antioch Pike. Open Streets is a beloved event where streets are blocked off to vehicles in order to highlight their use for people. Local vendors and programs set up shop while people of all ages bike, walk, run, and enjoy the streets. So we had a WeGo specific tent at Open Streets, and we were educating all of those around us about the transportation referendum and about our programs as a whole. So thank you. I'll pass it on to my next teammate.
Hi guys, I'm Jack Ross and I'm a rising senior at Ensworth High School. So throughout this past year, we've been promoting and creating content for WeGo's social media. And we've got to go downtown this year before the Billie Eilish concert and do a little game called Guess That Song, where we went up to just strangers throughout the street the day of the concert to see if they knew the rest of the lyrics to the song. And this is just to create some content for the Instagram to promote youth ridership and just get youth faces on Instagram. And this just has overall been a great opportunity to showcase our work and all the rest of the people at WeGo's work. And this little shout out to Taylor, she's right over there, for helping us make all these videos. It's been such a fun year. And if you haven't, definitely go drop a follow to WeGo's Instagram to see all the hard work that everyone does. Thank you. I'll pass it on to my next teammate.
What is your handle?
It's what WeGo Nashville? WeGo Transit. Yes, WeGo Youth Action, or WeGo YAT.
I saw your thing this morning.
Oh, you did? Okay, the little dance. Yep, that's celebrating our seniors.
As long as it's a thing, it's okay. It was
Thank
good.
you.
It was cute.
It was
I
a
like
lot
the
of
dancing.
fun. Yep. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Mike Eric Epstein. I am a rising senior at MLK High School. And as a group, we decided that one of the most actionable and realistic ways to decrease the negative stigma around bus cleanliness was by going around and cleaning the buses ourselves, the stops ourselves. And so several times this year, we ventured out on a bus route and cleaned the stops along that route. And this included, but was not limited to, picking up trash, wiping down the shelters, and sanitizing the benches. Thank you. I'll pass it on to my next teammate.
Hello, my name is Kia, and I am a recently graduated senior from Early College High School. And, I'm going to tell you a little bit about our New York trip. So about in October, we began the application process for the Megan and Bruce Berry Fund, which is in memoriam of their late son. And then in April, we were granted the opportunity to go to New York. And with the help of WeGo, we were gifted some mini microphones to do some interviews around Grand Central and the Port Authority. And then with the answers we got from our interviews, we created a report that's in front of you guys. And yeah, it just sort of showcases the answers we got from locals and travelers. And I'll pass it off to my next teammate.
How my name is Sage Bowman. I'm a rising junior at MLK High School. Another project that we worked on this year was, how do you click it? Sorry. Is that one? There we go. Sorry. Another project that we worked on this year was we created a script for WeGo's bus etiquette video, which was created to educate people on proper bus behavior. So we created a demo, and then we ultimately acted and produced the official WeGo video. And then we also partnered with the Cumberland River Compact to brainstorm ideas on how to advertise the Youth Climate Summit and how to increase youth engagement via the bus. Okay. So thank you guys so much for your continued support. And are there any final questions?
Go ahead. You got it.
Yeah. Any other? No more questions? No more questions?
I did. Well, first off, great job, everybody. I know getting up in front and talking in front of the microphone is not an easy thing to do, and you guys did very well, especially providing us the slides. And I don't know who worked on the roll call for order and stuff, but y'all did well. My question is, when you think about transit and transit specifically here in Nashville, and this is for everybody, what gets you excited about it?
You can just stand up if you have an answer. Oh, that's a good question. Is he coming over? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we want to get it.
Would you mind restating the question for me? Yeah.
I absolutely will. When you think about transit and specifically transit in Nashville, what gets you excited about?
Probably a lot of our new projects and what we're working on, making the system better, thinking about our transportation referendum as well. Really excited to see all of the improvements that I hope are going to be coming from that in the near and long-term future. And also NDOT's doing a lot of great work with lots of new bikeways, and hopefully we'll see some bus lanes around the city popping up soon. So really just looking forward to the future of our transportation network.
Great job. Oh, Steve, you might have a replacement in the wings here in a couple more years. Are there any other questions?
I don't have a question. I just wanted to say a big thanks. You guys are fantastic. I could not be more impressed by what you've done and your presentation here today. And I shudder to think at what my 16, 17-year-old self would have done if put in front of a microphone at a public meeting. So I think y'all are fantastic. Congratulations to those who have recently graduated. I love it. And we appreciate everything you've done on behalf of WeGo.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
I just want to. I just want to reiterate what Catherine said. I think every year these presentations get better and better. I don't know if it's because Alyssa's getting better at guiding the work, but these projects seem so meaningful and impactful, and you presented them in such a way that I can feel the impact that you had. And so that's just incredible as high school students. I hope that those of you who aren't graduating reapply for this upcoming school year. I know that the guy from Ainsworth this is your second year, right? Yeah, so I love seeing the students that stay with it over the years. This is just incredible, and congratulations again to the seniors.
This is really one of my favorite moments at our board meetings. You all are amazing, and you're such advocates for transit and for your city. And I'd love to talk to one of you one day. I know we don't have a lot of time today. Your trip to New York and maybe how you thought about the difference and how everything is public transit pretty much there, or walk, and versus Nashville, and how we can do more of that. But I was really proud of you all for going and learning so much, and being on the Brooklyn Bridge. That's like one of the coolest spots in New York. Did you walk the whole bridge? Halfway. That's okay. You did it though. That's amazing. But just grateful. And again, congratulations to all of you graduates, and congratulations to the program. It's just growing so much. Thank you. And thank you for WeGo for supporting them in social media, because your posts are really good. Thanks.
If there are not any more questions or comments from the board, one more round of applause for the students. Madam Chair, that ends the report from the NICE Committee.
Well, thank you so much. You all are welcome to stay, or you can go do fun things, because I do believe school is out, right? Okay. Well, go do you. Have fun. Be safe. Read a book this summer. I mean, actually, just tell my kids. I don't know if it happened, but... So I'm going to go back to where we were on our agenda, our information-only items. We have 3 different items: the monthly financial, the monthly operating statistics, and the upcoming procurement projects list. And I would ask, would any board member like for any of those items to be removed for discussion? Hearing no request, I would have you, since Mr. Searcy is in the room, I would make certain that you pay very mindful attention to the procurement projects list. I do recall that was his comment all the time, so that's in your honor. So with that being said, I'll move over to the consent agenda items, and on the consent agenda item, we have the Trapeze Group and Vontas Enterprise software and hardware products. I would ask, would any board member like to have that removed for discussion?
I would.
Okay.
Madam Chair. Can you please?
Sure.
Yeah, actually, I asked for Jessica to ask that it be removed. When the packet that was sent out, we inadvertently left off, if you turn to page 21 in your board packet, under this item, under items requiring additional funds, you'll see 4 bullet points. The packet that was mailed out, we inadvertently left off the last 2. So the material effect of the item doesn't change. It's essentially authorizing a sole source procurement with Trapeze Group and Vontas, who provide a lot of our operational enterprise software. But we added those 2. These are not new items. They were already intended to be in this scope. But the automated passenger counter project on 13 new flyer buses and onboard computer-aided dispatch vehicle location hardware equipment training were not originally listed in the mailed out version. And if you have more detailed questions, I'm good at reciting, but Rob McElhaney is here to address any detailed
right
questions
there.
that you have.
Thanks, Jessica.
Thank you.
Okay. Any questions? Thank you, Ms. Dalton, for bringing that out, for that observation. Appreciate it very much. With that, can I have a motion for approval of the consent agenda with the addendum?
Motion to approve the
Okay.
consent agenda item.
Right. There is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion, second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay. Next, Ms. Dalton, back to you, Operations and Finance Committee.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair. Happy to do it. Glad to be here. We have the ongoing saga of Nestor facilities. First up, action committee item here with Patrick Hester. Tune in next week as we hear the drama of the storage tank closure. All right, take it away.
Yeah, thanks. So good afternoon, Madam Chair, Vice Chair, and members of the board. I'm here to present on board action item MA 25021. And as you all know, Nestor is our primary operations and maintenance facility, supporting over 250 revenue vehicles and over 500 staff members at any point in time during a week. However, at Nestor, we do have some space constraints that are limiting our ability to operate and expand services, as we know we're going through a rather large expansion over the next several years. To help address this, we're initiating a project to remove decommissioned fuel tanks that are on the east side of the property. This effort will help increase lot availability and allow us to take on other efforts to improve parking flexibility in order to perform upcoming site improvements along Nestor itself. Some of those new site improvements will be the sinkhole repair work, employee lot repair work, fuel expansion, and a lot of security and safety measures around the Nestor perimeter. This was an open bid process with a DBE goal of 8.3%. Spatco Energy Solutions did submit the only responsive bid, and we did have 2 bidders. But after scope clarifications with Spatco, they offered a best and final cost of $368,878.53, which the staff reviewed and deemed reasonable. And With that said, the staff recommends the board authorize the chief executive officer to enter a contract with Spatco Energy Solutions for $368,878.53 to close decommissioned fuel storage tanks at Nestor. And due to the nature of this project, which involves potential unknowns related to subsurface conditions, staff also requests the board to approve a 30% contingency, bringing the total project budget to $479,542. This project is part of the capital plan under the state of good repair for Nestor improvements, utilizing FTA 5307 funds with state and local match.
Thank you, Mr. Hester. Are there any questions?
Does decommission mean empty?
Yes, they're emptied and closed.
And are they our tanks? Were they WeGo tanks that were used previously?
Yes.
Okay.
On the east side of the building, there are 2 underground storage tanks and 1 above storage tank that's housing good storage spots for vehicles.
Got it.
The fuel island was relocated a few years ago, so there's new above ground tanks that we use currently. So these are surplus and, as Patrick alluded to, just kind of taking up space on the back side of the building.
Another question. With this utilizing FTA funds and local matching contributions, is the total budget amount the 479, or is it more than that? And this is just the request from the board.
Total budget, the total project budget amount is 479. 542.
That's total authorized. The initial contract with the contractors, that 368, 878, 53. So, but the remaining 30% would be for staff-directed change orders due to site conditions.
I guess my question was, what additional funds are we looking for from FTA 5307 and any local matching contributions, if any?
These funds are programmed. The 479, 542 are already programmed into existing funding sources.
Okay. Any further questions for Patrick about the Nestor underground storage tank closure?
One last question. Did they hit the DB goal?
Yes, sir, they did.
Okay, thank you.
Channeling Walter.
Yeah. Well, at first I thought you said 80%.
Oh, 8.3.
8.3. Okay. The Operations and Finance Committee does make a motion to the board to approve MA25021 as written in the book.
Thank you, Ms. Dobbin. That is a motion. If I could have a second, please.
Second.
There's a motion, there's a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, board.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right. I heard a mention of a sinkhole in there. Does that mean we'll be able, I can look forward to another installment of the Nestor saga?
You will. And we had good news yesterday. Since we've done the stabilization project back in 2023, the summer 2023, it has not moved at all. So it's great news.
That is good news. Very good. I think I want to see a list of all of the improvements in one spot that we've approved to the Nestor site. So are we going to look at the potential for like another site at some point?
Yeah, that's a long-term project under Choose How You Move. And the supplemental appropriation that Council adopted about a month ago, we have upfront funding for feasibility assessment. Challenge there will be finding, I think Jeff can speak to this, finding the right amount of property in the right location, zoned appropriately. That will be the trick.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we can look forward and hope for a site that really suits our needs right into the future. Yeah, love that. All right, thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, the next item up for the Operations and Finance Committee is not an action item, it's an item of discussion. Please welcome Katie Freudberg, Scheduling and Service Planning Manager, with her quarterly route performance report.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Today I'll be presenting the quarterly route performance report for January, February, and March 2025. Ridership this quarter was down about 2% from the same quarter last year, in part due to some winter weather that we had in January and February. And then we did also see slightly lower ridership than we did last year in January and February, even on days without winter weather. Some of the changes in ridership that we've been seeing are continuations of trends that we've seen over the last few years. For example, ridership on Route 56 Gallatin Pike has been steadily increasing over the past few years. And then we did see some unexpected shifts too. For example, Route 8, 8th Avenue, and 55 Murfreesboro Pike both saw declines in ridership this quarter. So we'll be watching those over the next few months to see whether these were just fluctuations, seasonal changes, or whether they represent new shifts in how passengers are traveling and using the system. One of the biggest declines on the frequent network was on Route 22 Bordeaux. This is in part because all of the parts northwest of the river were renumbered last year as parts of routes 14, 71, and 77. So those passengers are being counted on another route. But we also saw about a 20% decrease in ridership on Route 22 at the North Nashville Transit Center, which on its surface looks a little alarming. But overall, on all of the routes that serve the North Nashville Transit Center, ridership has more than doubled since last year. So it means that people are shifting how they travel. And on Route 22, whereas last year we were seeing almost all of those trips traveling between the route and Central, now we're seeing more passengers traveling in both directions, so making those connections at the North Nashville Transit Center as well. And ridership on the two crosstown routes that were operating there last year, Route 75 Midtown and 77 Thompson Wedgwood, this quarter was 5 times higher than it was last year. And this is exactly what we wanted to see with the opening of the transit center, as well as with the addition of the service there, is people being able to travel from their neighborhoods to their destinations without necessarily having to come through downtown if it's not where they're going or on their way. And it's also what we hope to see as we're able to open more regional neighborhood transit centers and redesign the network around those. We've also seen pretty substantial increases in transfer activity where the 75 and 77 intersect with other frequent routes like Nolensville Pike, Murfreesboro, and West End, between 30% and 500% increases at those intersections as well. And so that's clearly a passenger response to the improved frequency there, but we do still have a lot of room for growth in terms of safety and passenger amenities at those transfer locations. And I normally say to wait 2 years after a service change to really look at the ridership, but we've seen some pretty clear shifts from the North Nashville service redesign. So in the next few months, we'll probably do a deep dive into some of the changes that we've seen with kind of all of the maps and graphs from that. That concludes my report. Thank you.
That's great, Katie. Thank you so much. If I'm looking directly at the numbers, it's interesting to me that the crosstown routes have seen such an increase in ridership percentage, while the frequent and local routes have seen just a smidge of a decrease. I don't know, have we ever seen that before?
We have not.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought.
We have never had this level of service increase on crosstown routes.
Yeah.
Some places we've been able to specifically tie, it looks like people are actually coming off of the 22, for example, and riding a crosstown route. So it's going where they wanted to go before, but without that transfer. Some of them we haven't necessarily been able to make, whether there's a one-to-one connection or whether it's just ridership changing.
Well, it's incredible to see, and I applaud you for keeping such a close eye on the data and what this means. I appreciate the report. Any questions for Ms. Freudberg on her quarterly route performance?
I did. I had a question. So the 71, that increase is correct?
It is technically correct,
Got it.
but Route 71 operated on one day in the first quarter last year. So it operated on March 31st.
Okay. All right.
So it's...
I was like, what happened on Trinity Lane? Because that is insane.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of stuff.
So next quarter.
Kind of
we'll
like
have
a tech
an action.
startup, Ron, that level of growth is not sustainable. Otherwise,
think-
we'll need 700-foot buses on that route.
I think overall, these numbers are very encouraging, and I look forward to seeing the next one, right? Without any further questions for Ms. Freudberg, I think the business of the Operations and Finance Committee is over. I'll hand it back to you, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much. Great report, very informative. Glad to hear about the sinkholes improving and ridership doing well, even though changing. I think that speaks to our city a little bit, but I think we can go to Steve for your CEO's report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First of all, even though I know that they left, I also want to thank and appreciate the Oasis Center and the Youth Action Team. Seems like every year, they've been doing this as long as I've been here. It seems like every year it gets, they do more and it gets even more impressive. So a lot of activity. I'm looking at Denise Nicolosi in the audience and saying you have some outstanding shelter cleaners in training with the group. So I'm sure our troops appreciate the help in that regard. Other activities on April 25th, a number of us from WeGo joined with dozens of transit advocates in Donaldson for the annual Ticket to Ride event. The event's hosted annually to celebrate Transit Month by organizations like Nashville Connector, Young Professionals in Transportation, and of course the Transit Alliance of Middle Tennessee, Transit Now Nashville, and WeGo. It included a ride to Donaldson on the WeGo Star by a large group of us, and then a social hour at the Party Fowl in Donaldson. It's always a great event. We were joined by Mayor O'Connell, a number of members of council, and it gave a number of us the opportunity to thank so many of the supporters who helped to get Choose How You Move over the finish line. On May 1st, a number of us joined Mayor Freddie O'Connell for his State of Metro address at the Downtown Library, and included in his remarks were specific mentions of ongoing and pending WeGo service improvements under Choose How You Move, including the service expansion, which will kick off this July 6th, the low-income free fare program, which I'll touch on in just a minute, and expanded access on demand to the weekends that will kick off at the end of this month, and 2 new WeGo link zones. Subsequently, the mayor released his budget proposal, and it did propose a level of funding that fully allows us to meet all of these service expansion requests that we had proposed for FY 25-26, including the service expansion that you approved last month. On May 15th, kind of following this theme, I was joined by our board chair, Gail Carr-Williams, and Amanda Vandegrift at our annual budget hearing before the Metropolitan Council's Budget and Finance Committee. The hearing was attended by over half the actual council members, so very well attended, featured many good questions about the Choose How You Move implementation, the work among departments, the sequencing of our projects, number of specific questions, so I thought it went very well. And I want to thank Gail in particular for her opening remarks that I thought set a very positive tone to the evening. This past month, a number of us on staff met with TDOT to review a consultant study that they had commissioned in conjunction with Governor Lee's Choice Lanes proposal, particularly focused on the I-24 corridor. The study that they commissioned explores how the choice lane facilities might best be deployed to enhance the effectiveness of public transportation in the region. They collected a lot of data from us, as well as from entities like GNRC, from the municipalities, the jurisdictions along the choice lanes. Everything's about choice. That's a cool thing. And we expect the information that they develop during this process to be shared with prospective concessionaires as they go about selecting ultimately the provider for the choice lanes. Earlier this month, you may have seen the announcement, we joined with District Attorney Glenn Funk's office to announce a new partnership with the DA's office. Under this partnership, we'll provide free trips on our WeGo access system to individuals for whom transportation to court proceedings is a barrier to their participation in the criminal justice system. Rides will be provided to individuals working through the DA's Vulnerable Adult Protective Investigative Team and the Victim, Witness, Prosecution Support Divisions. I think one of the things that was most fun about this project, first of all, I have to give a shout out to our access manager, Marilyn Yoakley, who put this entire program together. And she got to consort with our old friend and prior MTA board member, Mary Griffin, who is now with the DA's office, to put this together. I think we'll all remember, particularly the safety of older adults is a real passion for Mary. So that was a real, kind of a nice cherry on the sundae. Through the facilitation of Mayor O'Connell's office, we've met with several of our social service agency partners to discuss implementation of low-income free fare program that is funded under Choose How You Move. And in the coming month, the outreach will be expanded to include various advocacy organizations in the community. Ultimately, what all of this work will do is help us to develop recommendations that will come back to this board for actual implementation of the low-income fare ticket program. And we expect that we should be able to begin to roll that program out by the end of this calendar year. Well, we're continuing to work to fill our ranks. We've alluded to with the Nestor projects, growth in the system. That's going to be coming and constant. So hiring, training is an ongoing effort. And I want to give special recognition this month to really the entire organization, but in support of Mark Fleming and our Human Resources Department. We hosted a WeGo hiring event at the Myatt Drive facility earlier this month. Actually, I guess it was last month. Representatives of operations, maintenance, HR, transit stop, and administration hosted 228 attendees to the job fair. And we featured on-the-spot screening and interviewing for really instant hires. So as a result of this event, we made 145 offers of employment in a variety of, mostly as you might expect, the bus operator, our custodial, and our servicer classifications, but really kind of all over the board. So shout out to everybody here who participated in that event. You can't slow down now. We still need more people. Right, Carl? Several of us this month had the opportunity to meet with leadership from Nashville International Airport. As you know, in our service planning under Choose How You Move, there would be significant increases in service to the airport. So much like at Central and all over our transit centers, the question is, okay, where are we going to put all this service? So we had a very productive meeting with Airport CEO Doug Krillin and his staff to talk about short, medium, and long-term approaches, what capacity we have in the current transportation center, timing of their improvements to move into a new transportation center over the next couple of years, and even the longer term improvements that'll be years down the road. So the information that we gathered through this we'll use with our projects and service development teams to start phasing that service expansion in a manner that'll be sustainable within the airport. I'll close with a couple items on the RTA side. Continue to work on Debbie's favorite project, Donaldson Station. Design work has started on the public improvements to the station, including our 6-bay transit center, relocation of the access road, relocation of the above-ground utilities, new traffic signal, and quiet zone improvements at 2 grade crossings. We're currently awaiting a review appraisal on a small piece of land we need to acquire from the Nashville and Eastern Rail Authority. And once we get that, hopefully in the next couple weeks, we'll be going back to the RTA board probably in June to acquire that land, and then we can kind of move full-blown into development. And after the RTA board last month approved a new regional bus operations contract with Anchor Bus, Andy Burke and our operations staff are working closely with Anchor, as well as Gray Line, our incumbent provider, to make for a seamless transition of services on or about July 1st. So with that, unless there are any questions, Madam Chair, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Steve. Does anyone have a question for Mr. Bland? Hearing no questions.
I have one. I know Patrick mentioned about Nestor, and I remember maybe when I first started about how, because we're on the bank, we have erosion issues. Has that been monitored, especially with all the rain we have? Where are we looking at?
Yeah, they do continual monitoring, and in that litany of project that Jessica alluded to, riverfront stabilization is on that list of projects for us to undertake. You know, as a reminder, as you know, Jessica mentioned that we do have programmed under Choose How You Move a new bus operations facility, but that doesn't mean a full-blown replacement of the Nestor facility. So we've also programmed, you know, upgrades in that location. And depending on where we're able to locate a new facility, Nestor is critically important strategically just because of its proximity to the service area. We save a fortune on deadheading buses back and forth because of that proximity. So So I would imagine even with a new facility online, we'll still, have a use for that. Hopefully not for the 250 or so buses that are there now, but for some level of service going into the future.
I just want to call attention to, we did have a local high school student that rode all of the WeGo bus routes. And you probably know a lot more about that than just the headline, but.
I know what you know, Jess.
Oh,
I
okay.
found out about it at the Ticket to Ride event, which is really cool.
Yeah, and he finished it this week, and the mayor gave him a special coin of the city and all of this. So it's just super ambitious goal he set out for himself his sophomore year of high school, and he just completed it upon graduation this week. So yeah,
it's really cool. I told him at Ticket to Ride, we're going to make your job harder. We're going to add more routes, so he's going to have to come back and ride some more. I still have about 12 or 14 to go myself that I've never ridden yet. So. And that's over a lot of years.
Well, nobody's stopping you. You can just plan it for the summer. Sounds like good summer fun. Okay. Anything else for Steve? I'm just going to give a quick report. One, I do appreciate the invitation to sit with Steve and Amanda at the budget hearing for council. I've been to many of those. I was really impressed with the questions that were asked. I was also really impressed that the questions were supportive of the work that we were doing, and that it was really questions that showed a partnership with Metro Council for WeGo, MTA, and also very excited that we do have funding now from Choose How You Move. And so I just thought it was a win-win moment, and they had a lot of questions. I thought we were just going to be there for about 5 minutes, and but we were there many, but again, it was a very supportive conversation. And usually when we have these meetings over the years, it always starts with Steve giving an opening statement and remarks. And after all these 22 years, he let me go first. I was grateful.
I'm trainable.
Yeah, you're trainable. But it did mean a lot to me from the standpoint of being able to open it up and really show that this really is a community of volunteers and those who work at MTA WeGo, that we do this together. So thank you for having that foresight to do that. So thank you. I appreciated the opportunity. And I can't say enough about the kids because, that's like our future generation. These are our future riders. These are our future transit workers. And I'll tell a quick little story right quick. When I first came on the board, there was a young man he was friends with my kids at school. He went to USN, I think, and he wanted to do an internship here. It was when Paul Ballard was here. And I just always wanted to know about transit, and I just ironically ran into him coming out of a bakery. And but he's in Philadelphia, and he went to UPenn, and he is like one of the biggest transit people there. And he said it's only because of the fact that MTA gave him that internship. And so when I see these young people, I'm reminded of the impact that we are having on not just their future, but the future of our city, and how we're developing future leaders to make certain that things are well. And they like it and they appreciate it. And the experience is something they will take with them any place. It's the Dr. Seuss book, The Places We'll Go. You go, one of them. I read it so many times the kids watch. But I do think that that's just an example. So I appreciate, Zita, you and your team working with those young people and actually giving them the power to come to the podium to talk about what they do, and the fact that they want to go out and clean some of the stops. And that's a challenge, and I know that it is a challenge, but they're up for it and they want to be up for it. So I just think just applauding them and applauding all of you all for having the time and the space to bring them in here and teach them and allow them to grow in the ways that they have grown. So I want to thank you for that. Other than that, I really don't have much more. I am excited. Everybody's talking about transit. We're on again. This is great. But we're doing the work that people expect of us, and we're doing it with excellence. And we're doing it always thinking about the community in which we live and the community we want to see continue to grow. So I thank you all. Board members, what a joy to work with all of you. Jeff, welcome again. Haynes, not to confuse the two again. I'm reading now. for real. But welcome, and we're so glad to have you. Is there anything else? Hearing nothing else, since I now have a gavel, I'll move for adjournment. And
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn. We are adjourned. Thanks, everybody.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information on this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.